So what is going on, my fellow navigators? Welcome back to the Navigation Station, where we come each and every week, where we discuss all things related to the Pokemon TCG, everything from buying, selling, collecting, and investing, but most importantly, where we come to have a good time and share our passion for Pokemon. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. How is everybody doing? We got a few people here in the live chat thus far. Looks like we got Tom Bystander, Navigation Station with those fire emojis. What's going on, my man? Bad Haven 22, how is it going? RNG Gods, Mr. Beard, what is going on, my friend? How is everybody doing tonight? So good to have all of you guys here on this Thursday. First thing, before we start jumping into our questions here and our topic for discussion, a couple things that I want to go ahead and say here right off the bat. First and foremost, thank you guys for being here. I do want to say how much I appreciate all of you for being here, especially on a Thursday. I know we're still kind of in the work week, so for you guys to take some time out of your evenings to share that with me, I truly appreciate it. And the reason that we moved it to Thursday is I am going to be out of town tomorrow, so I won't be here in the Navigation Station to host this live stream with all of you. So we went ahead and moved it to Thursday. And I did say that I was going to have a video uploaded tomorrow. I had full intentions of uploading one of the Pokemon news episodes for tomorrow, but we had a little breakdown in technology when I was recording that episode. It didn't quite come through right when I was editing it. So unfortunately, I am not going to be able to get that episode out for tomorrow. So I thought to myself, well, I got to make up for it. I got to make up for that lack of episode, that lack of upload. So what do you guys think that we spend a little bit longer here tonight? I can answer some more questions. Maybe we'll spend an extra 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes. Who knows? Answer some more questions. Does that sound okay to you guys? Go ahead. If that's cool with you guys, go ahead and just give me a thumbs up here in the live chat. Let me know. I'll take my 30 lashings as well. I know. I know we got a little bit of a lag here, so I'll wait for those emojis. Either a thumbs down or a thumbs up, if that's cool with you guys. Starting to get a few more people in here. PokeKid92, what is going on, my friend? All right, we're getting some thumbs up. Okay, cool. So, like I said, we're going to spend a little bit more time here tonight, maybe another 20, 30 minutes or so. I'll try to get through as many questions in that time that I can. But before we get started, guys, do me a favor. You guys know what I'm talking about. Give me that double slap attack. That's right. One for that like button, one for that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And if you guys want to be notified whenever a live stream goes, whenever I drop a new video, you guys know what I'm talking about. Thunder punch that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. And if you guys want, let's go ahead and light up that live chat with those lightning bolt emojis and those hand emojis. Let me guys know that you're feeling that double slap and thunder punch tonight. Starting to see a lot of thumbs up rolling in. Want to go ahead and say hello to a few people joining in. Reagan Markovsky, how we doing? Adam, what's going on, my friend? We got Jay Monetta in the house tonight. Always joining in on a lot of my other videos, always commenting, always has a lot of good insight. Jay, it's good to have you here tonight, my friend. And of course, our main man collecting with Jules, my good friend Jules from Canada, joining in, moderating the live chat. Thanks for being here, Jules. And I got a little sneak peek of something I want to hint at, maybe a little bit later on. Something that me and Jules got in the works here. I'm not going to give away too much because my partner in crime, I got to okay it with him first. Now, let's see who else we got coming in here. Buddy Brock, Monkey D Pokemon, Javier, how we doing, my man? Cheska Moore, good to see you here. MMA fan, good to have you here as well. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into our main topic of the day. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, if you thought that $200,000 booster box that Logan Paul bought, if you thought that was a lot of money, guys, well, I've got something to show you here. For those of you that aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and switch over. So this just recently released a $375,000 first edition base set booster box is in the works to be sold. This is by trader Chris Camillo. Now, this guy is a part of another YouTube channel, which they call DumbMoney.tv. You can actually find them out online. But as you can see here, we are on Bazinga is the name of the website. And you'll see prominent social arb investor Chris Camillo of DumbMoney.tv has finalized a $375,000 purchase related to a first edition Pokemon box set, which sets a Pokemon card record by a substantial margin. Yes, indeed it does. And the record transaction is likely to significantly raise the market for Pokemon cards. You think? I don't really know how much higher it can really go. But looks like Camillo told Bazinga the purchase is appreciably higher than any other Pokemon purchase in history. And it looks like he's purchasing this from Jake the Crypto King, Nikos Tech, and Luke Wagman. It looks like these three guys are a part of an entity known as CryptoLuxury.io. So probably a cryptocurrency type of organization or platform that these guys run. And they have this as part of their portfolio as well. According to Camillo, he believes there are only 40 to 70 unopened boxes of 1999 first edition Pokemon cards and a handful of owners willing to part with the boxes. Now, I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with him on those exact numbers. I think there's probably more than that out there, but the fact that he is essentially putting this out there, you can guarantee this is going to drive up the prices. And not only that, just want to let you guys know the transaction itself is actually going to be live streamed on Tuesday, October 27th at 12 p.m. Eastern time on the DumbMoneyLive YouTube channel. So you guys can go ahead and check that out. I'll be sure to also put a link to into that channel in the video description after the video is uploaded. That way you guys can come back to it if you forget where it's at, and you can just click on that link. And you guys can go enjoy that on the 27th. And then he's also, from what I understand, he is also going to be opening this box as well. But what's really cool is the proceeds of that sale are actually going to go to a charity that he has. I believe it's for pediatric causes, which that's pretty cool. You know, the fact that the proceeds are going to be going somewhere nice to a good cause, you know, that makes it all that much better. But the other thing that I wanted to go ahead and talk about here is that Camille believes that his record $375,000 purchase price will be eclipsed shortly, with many others, including celebrities, trying to purchase boxes at the same time he made his contacts. And Heritage Auctions is also going to auction off a sealed box later this month, and Camille believes it will go for a high amount. So by the end of this month, guys, we could very well be seeing these boxes go for $500,000. I honestly would not be surprised if I saw this go for $500,000. So first of all, I want to see what you guys think about this, what you think of, you know, just the onslaught, if you will, of people entering the hobby, of the rapid escalation in prices, especially when it comes to base set and first edition base set. I want to get your guys' take on that and kind of see what your thoughts are as well. So we'll see what everyone has to say in regards to this. We've got a few more people joining in here. Furman Morrison, Llama John Comics, how we doing? Merkin Slayer, how are you doing, my man? What is going on? Furman, I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. I'm glad that they've been helpful to you. I'm glad that my videos do find value out there. I do my best to try to create as much value as possible. Yeah, Dave makes a good point. I wonder how many boxes are left in the world. It's a good question. It's one of those things that we will never know. Wizards of the Coast never release that type of information, so we don't know how many sealed booster boxes are out there. There could be warehouses full, or like Camille's sentiment, we could have 40 to 70 unopened boxes out there on the market that other investors or collectors are actually willing to part with. And that's another thing to take into consideration. There's a lot of boxes that we probably don't know about that are sitting in a collection of someone that's not vocal. They're not on any platform. They're just a quiet collector that has probably an enormous collection of products. So it would be great to know, because that would help to regulate prices, because there wouldn't be nearly as much speculation. But that also is the fun of it. That's the fun of that chase, especially the older sets that you get back into. The chase of being able to find those, not knowing how many are actually out there. I guess that's all part of the fun as well. Looks like oh gosh, Jules, you can let me know, man. I'm seeing some signs in here. Don't tell me that Collectibles Guru is involved in this. like I said, I'm not going to give my opinion on that whole fiasco. But if he's involved on this, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Let's see what everybody's saying here. So it looks like Bad Heaven 22. You see PokéRev sells boxes now. Yeah. That's actually something that I've thought about, maybe at some point in the future, maybe opening up my own website to basically put some of the products that I come across out there to the community, so that you guys can have a platform, and you can also have a source that you can come to that I hope you trust. I hope that you trust that I would do good business with you. But that's something that I'm actually considering, is at some point maybe having my own website where we can have products for sale on there as well. But yeah, I did see that as well. I did see that he is selling those booster boxes. Let's see what everyone is saying. Gregory Gustav, glad to have you here, my friend. I'm glad that you are enjoying the videos. Let's see what everyone is saying in regards to this. RNG gods. My thoughts on Guru. I don't know. I can't hate on anybody. I don't know the guy personally. But I would just say, more or less for me, I'm just a little more turned off just kind of by his demeanor. Anyone that basically proposes that they know everything about really investing in general, but especially when it comes to collectibles and more specifically Pokemon, to me that's just arrogance, in my opinion. And for me, that's just the main turnoff there, because I'll tell you one thing, guys, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the hobby. I mean, you can ask guys like King Pokemon, SM Pratt, guys that have been this for a long time, a lot longer than this guy, and they'll tell you straight up that they learn something new every single day. It's a constant learning game. That's the great thing about this hobby, and that's one thing that I love as well, is that I'm always learning. Every single day I'm learning something new, learning about new products. There is thousands and thousands of Pokemon products out there, guys. Thousands of them. And in some of my undervalued Pokemon card series, that's what I try to do. I try to go out and I try to uncover products that maybe I'm not even familiar with, but certainly that the larger community is not familiar with, and that maybe present a good opportunity. Does it always transpire that way? No. But can it? Yeah, sure. There's the possibility. And so, to have that kind of humble attitude, I think, is essential in this particular hobby. Whether you're investing, whether you're collecting, you've got to be humble, because you're never going to know everything about it, and there's always a lot more to learn. So that's just my take on it. I don't like to like to create a whole lot of controversy or a whole lot of animosity. Let's see what everybody is saying here. Let's try to get to some of these questions. Let's see what we got going on here. Tongun Wilson, just saw your previous vid on other investments. Do you think all the WotC theme decks are worth investing or just the base? Honestly, at this point, man, I think that if you've got the financial means to do so, that's always the big caveat. If you've got the financial means to do so, I think all of the theme decks are a good investment. Think about it, guys. It's much in the same manner as booster boxes or booster packs. These products are just going to get more and more rare. More and more rare. Sometimes it's not necessarily just the the product itself, but it's what is the supply like? What is the demand like? How many of these things are being opened? When it comes to sealed products, you have to look at how many of these products are actually being opened, and whether it's on social media, whether it's YouTube, whether it's just people in their own personal enjoyment. These sealed products are getting opened up more and more every single day, and it's just something that you've got to take into consideration. And with theme decks, those are the one product that I see that were released back then alongside booster boxes that you don't necessarily see getting opened nearly as much. So I think the value on those is going to continue to increase over time, because as more of these other sealed products start to get open, I feel people are going to navigate, no pun intended, they're going to migrate over to the theme decks. They're going to want to get those cards, even if a lot of them are commons, uncommons. You do have rares in there, you do have holos, but people want to be able to get access to these. And if they can still get base set cards, like I said, mainly uncommons, commons, but if they can get their hands on these cards and they don't have to shell out, $500 for a booster pack, obviously thousands of dollars for a booster box, I feel like that's going to be the natural migration for most people. And some of those theme decks have really great cards in them, really great cards, especially when you get into the Neo era. There's some nice cards in there. All the way from Neo Genesis to Neo Destiny. There's some really nice holos and rares in those theme decks. And if you guys haven't taken a look at some of the Aquapolis, the Skyridge, those are great cards as well. So to answer your question, man, I think that the theme decks are definitely underrated. Again, you're not getting the quantity of, or the potential of the holos, the rares in those particular products. But at the same time, you're getting that nostalgia. And I think now is a good time to go ahead and buy into those products, because I only foresee them shooting up in price in the very near future. So Tongan Wilson, thank you so much for that question, my man. I do appreciate that. Let's see what else we've got here. Do you see a Zard or a box hitting 1 million in 2020? I don't think it's going to go that high, personally. I mean, I've been wrong, and there's a lot of things that have surprised me this year. I don't see it going that high because, for one, I mean, we're almost to the end of the year. We're getting really close to the end of the year. There's not a whole lot of time left for it to hit in 2020. But once you start getting up into those price ranges, guys, I mean, there's cards out there for that price. You've got the Pikachu Illustrator card, for instance. I know SM Pratt has that listed $2 million. It sat there for a long time. When you start getting into, that $1 million range, that's difficult. That's really difficult, even for, even for celebrities, even for, some of these, bigger name people. It's still kind of a hard pill to swallow, even, around that $200,000 range, guy like Logan Paul, not too big of a deal. But once you start getting into that $1 million range, then you kind of have to weigh other things that you might be able to purchase for, that kind of money. But, at some level, there's always going to be people out there where even that is just a drop in the bucket for them. But for 2020, I don't see it hitting that. But again, I could very well be wrong. I've been wrong about plenty of other things in Pokemon this year that I didn't foresee happening, especially when it's coming to some of the price surges that we've been seeing. So who knows? Stranger things have happened. Let's see here. How do you suggest to store your cards? Well, for individual cards, got to get hydrated here. For individual cards, especially your higher end cards, I always like to put those in a penny sleeve and then into a card saver, just to make sure that nothing happens to them. I don't keep a whole lot of stuff like here at my home. I like to try to keep it off site at different places. My personal collection and higher end products that I have, in the very beginning, I went ahead and just went out and bought various safe deposit boxes where I could store those products, because you just don't want to take the risk of those, products getting stolen, they light on fire, your house catches on fire, whatever, God forbid those should happen. But you want to make sure that they are in a secure location. And then as far as sealed booster boxes, we have these cases. There's different grades. Some are a little bit cheaper, some are a little bit more expensive. But they're magnetic sealed cases that you can put those in. And that's generally what I do for most of my sealed booster boxes. I'll just put them in those cases and keep them stored in there. That way they're not collecting dust, they're not collecting a lot of debris. And there's not the big thing with sealed products too is you don't want to break that seal. With booster boxes, you don't want to break that plastic because even a little nick on that plastic can drop the value down pretty significantly. So you want to make sure that you're keeping any and all sharp objects away from them. And so that's typically what I do for most of the products that I have. So P. Carnican, thank you for that question. Let's see what else we got going on here. What's the going rate on a first edition fossil unopened pack? Also, decent investment to open based on potential cards inside. With fossil, the pull rates on fossil aren't as great as others, to my understanding and what I found in my experience, not as great as some other sets. Let's go ahead and switch over real quick. In fact, I will jump on over to eBay and we'll just see what fossil is going for. So let me jump on over here. So let's see what we can find. So first edition fossil booster pack. So here we go. Top. In fact, let's just go to the sold listings and see what we have there. So here's a heavy pack. This was best offer accepted. And those are always tough to judge as to what they actually sold for. Here's an unweighed pack. This is first edition Zapdos, $300. We've got a first edition Aerodactyl, $225. Here we've got, looks like they're selling this one as heavy, I believe. So you can see there's a pretty big price difference here if you're buying, a quote-unquote heavy pack, an unweighed pack, a light pack. So a lot of different, it's a pretty big variance is what I'm trying to say. This one, oh my gosh. Pokemon Fossil First Edition new factory sealed booster box. $739. Wow. That, man, if that is true, that was a steal. Man. Either somebody didn't know what they were doing when they listed that, or somebody was really, really quick to the punch. But yeah, it looks to be that's what first edition fossil packs are going for. They can vary. It looks like anywhere from $200 up to $1,500, depending on if they're weighed, unweighed, or light packs. So that is what they are going for. So thanks for that question. Let's see what else we got going on. Patrick Pangan, thank you for the support, my friend. I do appreciate that. Glad to have you here. All right, we got Wait Who asking, if you had to bet your life savings, would you bet on first edition Zard hitting $1 million first, or would you take the field like trophy cards? Whew, that's a good question. You know, a lot of those trophy cards have just sat. You know, I watch a lot of those, you know, guys that have those out there on the open market. They've sat for a long, long time. To be honest with you, I think if I were to bet, I would say that probably... I would say a first edition Charizard would probably, I would say probably a first edition Charizard would hit $1 million and would be, if first edition Charizard hits $1 million as its value, I feel like that is going to sell up faster than what a trophy card would sell if it was also at $1 million. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I guess I'll bet my life savings on that. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Jonathan Flores saying NFL tonight, the debate tonight, but here we are with PokéNav. Well, this is the way that I see it. You're probably not going to get a whole lot out of the debate. I'm not a political guy, but just saying you're probably not going to get a whole lot of information out of the debate anyways. And on top of that, you're going to watch an NFL game with no fans in the stands, and I think the Eagles are playing tonight, and I can't remember who else. So from last I saw, all I know, I don't have anybody playing tonight in my fantasy league, so I'm probably not paying a whole lot of attention to it. Basically, if the Cardinals aren't playing or one of my fantasy players aren't playing, I'm probably not paying a whole lot of attention to it. So the next best thing, all those things considered, you guys get to spend a little time with your boy PokéNav. And like I said, going over the things that we love, our passion, Pokemon, you know, that seems like a win-win to me, but I could be biased. All right, let's see what else we got. Tiago Lago de Carvalho. Woo! Hello, PokéNav. I'm returning to the hobby, having sold my collection 2 years ago before coming to college. Was planning on returning with $300 starting budget. Any ideas or opinions? So what I would recommend, man, I've got a video on this very topic. It's a little bit less than that, actually, so it should help you out even more. But it's how to invest on less than $200 a month. And one of my, if you're just getting started again, one of my recommended initial investments for most people is actually binders of cards. So, you know, whether you're going out to yard sales, whether you're going to card shops, whether you're looking on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, a lot of the time you can find binders of cards, and sometimes these are in really good condition. This is how I started. You know, I basically didn't have any capital to invest in, you know, higher end cards. And when I started back in 2016, prices were a lot lower, but even then still didn't have a whole lot to invest. So I started picking up binders, just binders of individual cards, and started grading those and selling those off slowly. And it's a way that you can get into investing without putting down a ton of capital. I mean, a lot of the time you can find binders of cards out there. People are selling in bulk. You know, I just spoke with somebody the other day who was asking me, they had a full spreadsheet breakdown of a lot of different cards that somebody was selling in bulk, and a lot of good cards in there, a lot of commons and uncommons. But guys, even those commons and uncommons, if you're able to buy in bulk and you're able to turn those products you know, relatively soon, you know, even if you're making 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 profit on some of those cards, you know, as you go along, and those cards add up after a while. And I just reinvested everything back in, and I would turn around, I'd reinvest it, and then I would start buying sealed products. So I think, you know, for people starting out, I think that that binders of cards are a great way to go. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down this light real quick. That's turning it up. It blinded me. But yeah, I think binders of cards, great way to go. And especially if you're just starting out, that's probably the most cost-effective way to get started as well. So, but thank you for that question, man. I get that one a lot from people, and that's usually what I recommend is, you know, starting that way. Start where you can. That's the main thing here. The main takeaway is just start where you can, whatever you can afford, whatever's not going to break the bank, and just work your way up from there. Everybody's got a place to start. Not everybody starts at, you know, where you see a lot of people out there on, you know, YouTube or other social media platforms. You got to start where you can, and then you just work your way up from there. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Austin M. If I'm a person who wants to try to use Pokemon cards to pay for college or help, what would be the best way to earn $10,000 in 4 years, earning my associate's degree using Pokemon cards? Well, you know, man, one of the coolest things about starting this channel and having this platform is I get to hear a lot of really interesting success stories. And that's honestly what means the most to me when somebody reaches out to me and they say, hey, PokéNav, I followed some of the advice that you'd given. I watched some of your videos and I was able to pay off the last bit of my student loan. Or I was able to set enough money aside to take my family on a vacation. Like, it's not always about like, you know, not everybody is going to reinvest that back into Pokemon. And I understand that. And actually, you know, Jules and I had a long conversation about this the other day about, you know, investing in Pokemon. It's not always just about money, and it's not just always about just financial gain. There's a lot of stories out there that I hear from people that use the, you know, the money, the profits that they've made from investing and selling Pokemon cards to better their life. And that's awesome. You know, whatever you want to do, you know, it's entirely up to you. And if it betters your life and it makes your life happier, one, if I had even a small part in that, I'm truly thankful. But two, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, guys. There's no right or wrong way to collect or invest. But to answer your question, man, you know, to help yourself pay for college, it's one of those things that, again, you've just got to start where you can. Start with those binders of cards. Then work your way, start grading those off slowly. Then start reinvesting that into perhaps some sealed products. As you've seen, sealed products, it has a tendency to increase pretty dramatically, and the profit margins on sealed products are quite a bit more than most individual cards out there. Not always, but that's a great way to move. And then also what you can look at is both your short-term and your long-term investing strategies. So if, let's say that by the end of 4 years, you know, you want to, let's say, maybe pay off the last of that student loan, or, you know, whatever you've got, set short-term and long-term goals for yourself. This is the same thing that we do in the financial industry. We've got short-term investing goals and long-term investing goals. So maybe your short-term investing involves maybe flipping graded cards, or maybe even raw cards. And maybe that's how you're able to pay for your textbooks. Maybe that's how you're able to pay for your tuition, what have you. But then at the end of that 4 years, maybe you set aside now some sealed products that are going to appreciate in value, so that by the end of 4 years, you've got a nice investment sitting there that has, you know, had a good period of time to appreciate, and then you can turn around and sell that and maybe pay off the last of that student loan, or, you know, maybe at that point you want to, you know, get a vehicle or what have you. I know what it's like to be a college kid, and especially coming right out of college. You know, it's pretty overwhelming. You don't have a whole lot of money, so that might be a nice little nest egg that you have at the end of that 4 years. But that's a really good question, man. Really good question, and I appreciate that. And like I said, guys, there's so many examples out there, so many ways that this hobby can help you. Whether you're an investor, whether you're a collector, for most people, they're both. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm both. Yeah, at heart, I'm a collector, but investing is kind of a means to an end for me. I invest so that I can collect. So that's, I don't know, maybe that should be a hashtag, invest to collect. But yeah, man, I really appreciate that question. No right or wrong way about it, and it can help it can help a lot of people. It can help a lot of people if you do it right and you're smart about it. All right, let's see what other questions we got going on here. Okay, so Haza the Hammer Harry, hello. As the Evolutions price has been going up recently, do you think they will go back down? I just made a video on this, my last investing video. In fact, it released on Tuesday, where I talked about different undervalued products. So talked about earlier the old WotC theme decks, but I actually included in there Evolutions booster boxes. And I've heard time and time again out there that, this is a manipulated market. These prices don't actually reflect, the actual market. But guys, I truly think that that Evolution's time has come. I've talked about it before, all the different factors that I think put Evolutions in a position to start increasing in value. And I think we're starting to see that now. The fact that base set, whether it's unlimited or whether it's first edition, unlimited, whether it's Japanese, all of these sets are becoming less attainable by the average person. And so the next best thing after that is Evolutions. And if you look at it, again, from a price relativity standpoint, even at that $400 to $500 price point that they're going for right now, I mean, you've got cards in there that are going for $300, $400 as well. I mean, the Charizards themselves, especially if you get that hollow or reverse hollow Charizard and it comes back in a PSA 9, PSA 10, I mean, you're looking, close to $1,000 now for these cards. So, and the pull rates for Evolutions, trust me, I've opened a lot of Evolutions. I'm probably one of the biggest proponents of Evolutions out there. And I've opened a lot of them. And the pull rates on Evolutions is quite good. It's quite good, especially for a modern / ultra modern set. It is quite good. And there's a lot of cards in there that have really good price points right now. So for me, I don't think you're going to see as dramatic of an increase in price moving forward. I think it's going to be more steady, more progressive. I think that it definitely shot up, and it shot up more than I thought it was going to, due to a lot of the influx of people coming into the hobby, some of the notoriety that Pokemon is getting right now. So I think it shot up because of that, but I don't see it going back down. I see a nice, slow, progressive movement as we move on into the future. But again, I could be wrong. But at some level, I don't want to see Evolutions go through another, like a cycle like Unbroken Bonds or Team Up. And here's the other thing. This is the one thing that I have to address is I hear from a lot of people out there, Pokemon's just going to reprint Evolutions. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, okay, what are the sets that are actually being reprinted? We look back, and the farthest back that we can go for a reprinted set, to my knowledge, is Ultra Prism, which was 2018. Evolutions is clear back in 2016. That set's 4 years old now. So what Pokemon is trying to do, in my opinion, and the reason I don't think they're going to reprint Evolutions, is they're trying to keep ultra modern cards in circulation for people to be able to purchase. And the other thing that you have to keep in mind here is that first and foremost, Pokemon's main segment of the market that they want to appease are competitive players. That's the way that it's always been. Pokemon cards, yes, we've collected them, since the beginning, but the purpose of Pokemon cards at a fundamental level is to play them competitively. And so Pokemon is trying to make sure that these, very modern, ultra modern sets, especially those that are still in rotation for competitive play, are available for these competitive players. Even with Hidden Fates, I didn't think they were going to reprint the ETB, but in some sense, it does make sense. It's so recent of a set. Pokemon wants to make sure that they are available to the wider audience. But when you go back to Evolutions, 4 years back, I think it is hit that threshold, if you will, of Pokemon wanting to reprint that. Now, can they reprint it? Sure. I mean, realistically, Pokemon can reprint anything that they want. Now, people will always say, well, why don't they could just reprint base set? Well, there's copyright issues there. If you guys know, I mean, those sets were printed and produced by Wizards of the Coast. So they can't be an exact copy. And even if they did print an exact card, there's always going to be that Wizards of the Coast logo on there. So even if they did reprint it, you know you can differentiate between what is a vintage product and what is a reprinted modern product. And that goes for all WotC products. But anything after WotC, you know, basically, you know, you move into the EX era, Diamond and Pearl era, they could reprint any of those if they wanted to, any set. But are they actually going to do that? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Those cards are old enough now. Pokemon, it's way out of rotation for any type of competitive play. Pokemon, I don't think is going to reprint anything like that. Now, could they have maybe a Evolutions-esque type of set that comes out? Maybe. You know, I could foresee them maybe doing a reprint of like Neo in an Evolution style. You know, it's not the exact card, but it's kind of paying an homage to Neo, and I would love to see that personally. So that's some things that you guys have to keep in mind here is, you know, when people, you know, just throw out there, oh, they're just going to reprint, Evolutions. We have to think about it. You have to think about it from Pokemon's perspective, and you have to think about the sets that they've actually reprinted. These are very modern, ultra modern sets, many of them still in competitive rotation. So that's Pokemon's main objective here. They want to make sure that they're appealing to the competitive players. So all that being said, I do think that Evolutions is going to continue to increase in value. Do I think it's going to increase at the rate that it has most recently? No. Personally, I don't. I think it's going to be slower. It's going to be more progressive. You know, by the end of the year, if booster boxes are going for $400 to $500 right now, I would say by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're going for maybe 5 to 6. You know, personally, I don't think they're going to increase that much, but ultimately that's what you want to see. You want to see, you know, slower progressive growth, especially with a product that is about 4 years old. You want to see that slower progressive growth over the long term, because that, at least to me, indicates a healthy market for that product. And as far as reprinting, I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be reprinted. I don't think Pokemon has any intentions to. The products that you're seeing out there, like for instance, we're going to have the Kanto Power Collections box, which is going to be all Evolutions packs. This is all, I believe, just leftover packs that they have. This is leftover product that they're going to put out there. Now, do I think you guys should hop on that and grab that Kanto Power Collections box? Sure, definitely grab that when it comes out. But this is just leftover products that they have. The ETBs that you saw, these were basically back stocks that some of these retailers had that they put back out onto their shelves. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, guys. That's definitely something that I wanted to hammer down here tonight, because I've been getting a lot of questions in regards to Evolutions, and that's just my take on it, just my opinion. I could be totally and completely wrong about it, but I've seen the market with Evolutions. I've watched it over the last few years, and just based upon that experience, that's kind of where I see it going. So. But yeah, thank you for that. I don't even remember who asked that question. So that's kind of how I am. That's probably what you guys are getting to know about me, is I can take a simple question and I can go into extreme detail on it. But I think maybe that's why many of you stick around, is you're probably going to get more detailed of an explanation than you would from others. So, but that's just me. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. And for all of you who are joining in here, we now have 261 people in the live chat joining this live stream. And thank you guys so much for being here. Again, for those of you, if you're new to the channel, we go over everything here: buying, selling, collecting, investing. I talk about everything related to the Pokemon TCG, really, but more specifically to the investing side. So if you're new here, welcome. And do me a favor, guys, especially if you're new and you don't know the lingo that we use here, give me a double slap attack for that like button and that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and go ahead and thunder punch that notification bell as well. Hey, Packflow, my man, how is it going? Hello. Good to have you here, my friend. Real quick with Packflow, my man sent me, you guys, I know you'd recognize them if I pulled them out, but there's some of those old school from like probably 2003, some of those lead pencils, the ones where you would pull it out the top and then insert it back into the bottom and it would pop the other lead tip out the top. Some really cool like Gen 3 Pokemon from back in like 2003. He sent those to me here probably about a month ago, but I wanted to go ahead and thank you here in the live stream for that, my friend. I do appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Let's see what else. Ariel Anzor says Pokemon should bring back the first edition stamp. I totally agree with you. I think again, this is why I think that Pokemon's main segment of the market that they focus on is competitive players, because I would love to have those first edition stamps once again, but unfortunately, I just don't think that they're going to happen. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Julian Cruz, what's up? How's it going? Fleck Aziz, Pika Price in the house. How's it going, my friend? Good to have you here. Let's see what else we got. How do you suggest selling commons and uncommons? With commons and uncommons, you have, it really depends on the set, in my opinion. If you're going back to, like Shadowless, for instance, I would recommend getting those cards graded, honestly, especially if you're getting the big three, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, and then their next evolution. If you got those cards in Shadowless, I would recommend getting those graded, especially if they appear to be in, roughly like a PSA 9 condition. I would recommend getting those graded. For a lot of commons and uncommons, though, especially for newer sets, your best bet in that case is just to sell them in bulk, because they're really not worth much of anything. But the further back that you go, you do have more options, and especially if you do have any first edition base set cards, commons, uncommons, if they're in good condition, guys, I recommend going ahead and getting those graded. Definitely get them graded. There is definitely a market out there for those commons and uncommons. Whether it's base set, jungle, fossil, team rocket, or you start getting into the gym challenge, gym heroes, Neo especially, there's a market out there for those, because you got to think to yourself, not every collector out there, their favorite Pokemon is not always a rare or a holo. So, for many people out there, that maybe their favorite Pokemon is a common or an uncommon, and they want to have that in their collection. So there's a market out there for most cards, especially when you go back into vintage cards. You just have to be smart about it. You have to know, okay, what's the rarity of this? What's the market like for this? What's the condition of the card? Do I want to get it graded? What's the price point? You have to take those costs into mind, and what a profit margin would be after you deduct those costs and then sell the product out on the open market. So it just kind of depends. Depends on various factors, but that's definitely a good way to start. If you're looking to invest in commons and uncommons, I would definitely look at the older sets, look at the WotC era sets, and especially first edition. And then if you go back to base set, Shadowless, I think those are good options as well. I appreciate that, Poke Kid, asking for those likes. That's right, guys. Give that double slap. Let's try to get this live stream to at least 100 likes. I know you guys can do it. It just takes just a second. All right, let's see what we got. Alex Leslie, congrats on the recent success, Nav. I appreciate that. You and the Becked My Gangster are my favorite small Pokemon channels. I'm sure you'll blow up soon. Well, I really appreciate that. You know, it's no matter how big the channel gets, guys, I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about Pokemon. I enjoy, sharing some of the knowledge, some of the experience that I have with all of you out there. And ultimately to me, the biggest thing is, getting to hear those stories. Like I was telling you about earlier, getting to hear those success stories of, people that were able to take some of the information that I've given and be able to invest that into maybe their own collection. Maybe they have taken that investment and they've used it to pay off student loans. I mean, I've heard all kinds of different things, and that's really what it's all about. I was actually talking to Polish Rob. If you guys, I'm sure some of you know Polish Rob, another great YouTuber. We were talking about it the other day, and 20 years into the future, when I look back on all of this, I doubt at that time, I'll be doing YouTube. Probably still be playing, investing, collecting Pokemon. But, whatever transpires with this channel, the thing that I'm going to remember, more than anything is all the people that I've met, all of the stories that you guys share with me, the success stories, and being able to make friends. I've been able to make friends with people in this hobby, and this really is a great hobby. It's a great community, and that's what I'm most thankful for, is just being able to, communicate and be able to associate with all of you guys. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But never know. We could grow. We could be on like a Leonhardt level or an unlisted leaf level. You never know. But it's only with your guys' help. You guys are the reason that the channel grows. You guys are the reason that I come back and make content every week, and so I just have to thank you guys for it. Really appreciate it. All right, we got PokeDeek in the house. What is going on, my man? Thank you so much for being here. Just subscribed and hit the bell. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. I love your content as well. Find you out there in other live chats as well, PokeRev and some of these other channels. But I love your content as well, and I appreciate you being here, man. Really appreciate that. All right, let's jump into a few more questions here. Let's see what we got going on. Bad Haven says, my favorite Pokemon is a common, Charmander for life. Yeah, I feel you on that. Unfortunately, my top 5 Pokemon are not commons or uncommons. Unfortunately, they are not. So that hurts my wallet a little bit more. I wish they were commons and uncommons. It'd be a lot easier to collect. Oh, here we go. Fleck Aziz, what do you think about the Kanazawa Pikachu promo card and limited box? So I was actually, it's so funny that you mentioned this, because I was actually going to talk about this in the Pokemon news episode for tomorrow. And for those of you just joining in, unfortunately, guys, I am not going to have the Pokemon news episode that I had scheduled for tomorrow. When I was recording that episode, there was a malfunction with my camera, and when it came back, it was just real pixelated, didn't come through right, and I didn't have time to record it again. But just to give you guys a little heads up, what he's talking about here is there's a new Pokemon Center opening in Japan, in Kanazawa, Japan, and they have a limited edition box that is being released in commemoration of this. So in fact, let me go ahead and just go out onto the computer here. I'm going to go to PokeBeach, and that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let me see here. Okay, so let me pull you guys back in here. So this is what I'm talking about here. So Kanazawa Pokemon Center opens November 20th, promos revealed. So this is the new Pokemon Center that's going to be opening in Japan, and they've got these commemorative products that they're releasing for this. So here you can see the sleeves, you can see the box itself, which is really cool. And here's some of the cards that they're releasing as well. There's that Kimono Pikachu. Now, Milotic is going to be essentially their mascot. is the way that they're describing it for this new Pokemon Center. So you'll see it featured on these products here, and there's a Sobble as well. But yeah, to answer your question, I think personally that this is a great product. I always talk about how, whenever you have a product that is commemorative or a product that is released, for a special event or something like that, those are the type of products that I definitely, at the very least, recommend keeping an eye on. I'm going to turn this light up just a little bit more. I know it's a little bit bright and it's getting dark in here. But yeah, these are products that I definitely recommend holding on to, because, they're limited, they're exclusive. And you guys have heard me talk about it time and time again about, the exclusivity of products and how important I feel that is. And it's no different here. I truly think that these products are probably going to have, good long-term value down the road. So the problem with, especially with Japan exclusives, is it can be hard to get your hands on these products. So, with this, you're really going to need some kind of third party, maybe somebody that in Japan, to really get your hands on this. So that can be the trouble there. But you'll probably see these come out on eBay, on the open market, probably relatively soon. And, I would look out for those, but it's probably going to be at a premium when you try to pick it up there. Now, Pokemon, they do have the Pokemon Center website for Japan, but again, I don't know that you'll be able to pick it up on there. But if you've got a source that you can buy from, or if anyone in the chat is familiar with someone that they utilize to buy Japan exclusive products, then by all means, go ahead and let everybody know. But like I said, if you can get your hands on something like that, I think that it's definitely going to be a good buy, because it's got all those features that I look for in a product. So, all right, guys, let's see what else we got going on here. The cooking channel. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. It looks like we are at 89 likes, guys. Come on, let's go ahead and get it to 100. I appreciate all you guys being here. We got 273 people in the live stream now. I know you guys can take just a little bit of time, get this video up over 100. I know my boy Jules is pushing for it as well. I appreciate that, Jules. And again, if you guys haven't checked out Jules' channel as well, be sure to go ahead and do so. He just dropped a video today. This guy collects pretty much everything. You like comic books, you like statues, you like gold, you like silver, my man can help you out with that. He just dropped a video today showing off some of his silver collection for some Marvel, DC figures. I would definitely go ahead and check that out if you're into that type of thing. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, say Timotheus, how exactly do you make money off your investing hobby? It's just spending money and waiting, but where is the sell part? So the thing that you have to keep in mind here is there's various aspects to investing. So investing, again, you've got short-term, you've got long-term investing. So there's the investing strategy where you could flip products. So, you could flip raw cards, you could flip graded cards. That's where those binders of cards can come in handy for a new investor, because you can go out, you can buy cards that you think are in good condition, turn around, grade those cards, and then flip them on the open market. And that's a good way to generate revenue that you can then reinvest back into other products. Some products maybe you want to hold for the long term. For me, and especially at this point, a lot of my strategy is a buy and hold strategy. So, mainly at this point, I'm buying and holding sealed products, and I'm just waiting, for the long term, which, long term in financial lingo is over 5 years. So I'm basically waiting for those products to appreciate even more, and then I will then sell them in the future. So that's the great thing about collectibles, but especially with Pokemon cards, is that there's various ways that you can generate revenue. You can generate profits. And like I said, you can flip products, you can hold products for the long term. With the market the way that it is right now, you don't have to hold it for that long, it seems like, to turn around and generate a profit. But the thing is, and I think a common misnomer that people have is that they have to spend a ton of money to make money. And that's not the case, guys. That's really not the case. Even in this market, you guys can get into this hobby on the cheaper side. You don't have to break the bank, and then you just build up slowly. You just continue to reinvest. You know, there's a term in the financial world. It's called dollar cost averaging. And basically what that means is that, and it's actually been proven to be one of the most effective strategies for long-term investment growth. Basically what that means is that you take the same amount of money and you invest it on the same periodic basis, no matter if the market is up or the market is down. Because here's the thing, if you're doing that consistently, let's say, you know, it's a 401k or an IRA, you're contributing to that account on a consistent basis. Well, if the market is up, you're continuing to put money in there, that portfolio is going to continue to grow. If the market is down, well, guess what? That's a good thing as well, because you're putting the same amount of money in there, but you're able to purchase more shares than you were before at that higher price. So that when the price comes back up, the gain that you have on that from being able to purchase those shares at a lower price ultimately is going to give you a better overall portfolio. And it's the same thing here. You know, it's being able to invest where you can, small incremental amounts, and over the course of time, that adds up. You know, those investments add up. And then there's also the time value of investments as well. So, you know, the longer that you can sit on products, you know, the more that they're going to appreciate. Generally, they're going to appreciate over the long term. But that doesn't mean that you can't make money in the short term, and that does not mean that you have to put a lot of money up front. You know, I've given a lot of examples. Again, I've got videos out there of how to invest on a small budget, and there's a lot of ways that you guys can do so. So I encourage you to watch those videos. I encourage you to start wherever you can, and then just work your way up from there. So I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for that question. Wow, we are over 300 viewers in here, guys. Awesome. So good to have you guys here. You know, sometimes I just sit back and it just kind of baffles me. You know, it kind of baffles me that, you know, the channel is doing as well as it is. And, you know, I'm just humbled by it. I'm humbled by the outpouring of support that you guys have given me. And, you know, all I can say is that I'm doing my best to make things better and better for you, you know, as time goes on. You know, I'm working with other people right now to, you know, help with some of the, you know, technicalities of the channel, you know, equipment, things like that, just to make your viewing experience better. And I'll just mention it real quickly here. Again, you guys don't have to feel obligated about this whatsoever, but I did recently start a membership section on the channel where you guys can have badges next to your name in comments, live chat. You can also, I've got a double slap and a thunder punch emoji that you guys can use in live chats and comments as well. It's a way that you guys can help out the channel. And, you know, just so you guys know, if anyone decides to sign up for any of those memberships, every bit of that revenue is reinvested right back into the channel. So to get better cameras, better lighting, you know, to provide you guys with better content. So if you're thinking and you're wondering if there's a way that you can help support the channel, that's one way to do it. And if any of you decide to do that, I truly appreciate it up front. But again, don't feel obligated to do so whatsoever. I just appreciate you guys being here. All right, let's see. So Cheska says, what's your favorite Pokemon to collect? Mine is Swampert, Arcanine, and Ditto. Well, my top 5 favorite Pokemon, obviously you guys might have seen in a previous video, my number 1 favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo, which is pretty uncommon. I don't hear a lot of people saying that, you know, hey, looks like Bad Haven 22 just signed up. Hey, I appreciate that, my friend. Really, really do appreciate that. But getting back to your question, Cheska, Mewtwo's my favorite Pokemon. I love Dragonite. I love Lugia, Ho-Oh, And of course, I know I'm basic, but I've always loved Charizard as well. Definitely in the top 5, but I also really love Alakazam as well. And they're actually releasing a new Alakazam V-Box for Vivid Voltage. That's going to be coming out soon here as well. And, if that's something that you guys are looking at, Alakazam seems to always have the baddest cards. Alakazam is just honestly a great Pokemon in my opinion. But those are my top 5. As far as collecting goes, I like collecting mainly cards that remind me the most of my childhood. So, when you guys were kids, like it was hard to come by the holos, the rares, things like that. We also made really bad decisions of trading those cards away. So, for instance, I remember as a kid, one of the cards that I traded away was a Neo Genesis Lugia. And I actually got that back. And that's what, basically what I'm getting to here is I like to collect things that really remind me of my childhood. They give me that feeling of nostalgia. And if you look, for my collection, the cards they're not the highest end. There's cards in there that are worth, a decent amount of money. But, I don't have the $100,000 Charizards in there or anything like that. Because to be honest with you, that's just not for me. Those cards, maybe at some point, I would add something like that to my collection. It's probably far down the road. But, for me, I just like to collect what reminds me of my childhood. So, there's commons in there. There's uncommons in there. Mainly, it's a lot of Wizards of the Coast era type of products. As a kid, unfortunately, I didn't collect a lot of the Gym Challenge and Gym Hero sets. And so that's something that I've started to focus on as well, is starting to get more cards from those sets because I feel like I missed out on them when I was a kid. So that's kind of where I'm focusing right now as far as my personal collection, is adding some of those sets in. But I appreciate that, Cheska. That's a really good question. Let's see what else we got going on here. Adelina's Adventures, thank you so much for that super chat. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see, what other questions we got going on here? Uh-oh, we're getting a lot of deleted messages in the live chat. Oh, Jules is holding it down. Hopefully we don't have a whole lot of nefarious activity in here. We are getting quite a few people in here, so I guess that's to be expected. Let's see what else. Can Bam, how can I get my eBay listings limit increase? I just started selling, but can only list 100 listings. To my knowledge, I think it's based upon your tenure. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I have not done over my tenure, I guess you could call it, of investing in Pokemon. I haven't done a tremendous amount of selling on eBay. I said it before, I got really lucky in that, the metro area that I live in here in Phoenix is pretty thriving. I've done most of my buying, selling, investing in person. So as far as eBay goes, to get that limit increased, I believe it has to do with your tenure or not tenure, but the amount of product that you've actually sold on there. But if anyone else has that answer for them, I'm sorry, my friend, I don't have a better answer for you. But for me personally, I've never listed more than 100 products at any one time. So I just can't give you the information on that. So I do apologize. But like I said, if anybody in the live chat does know that answer, be sure to go ahead and help out our friend Can Bam there. Jamie Chris VA, could you show us a couple cards from your collection? I will eventually. I've said before that I don't like to show off a lot of that kind of stuff, just because I don't want to be just another person that's just flaunting product out there. I know, if I were to take a poll right now, I would say that most of the people that watch my videos that are in the community are probably new. And, while it can be really cool, it can also be a little bit disheartening to see, higher end products. But I will eventually. I'll definitely, showcase some of that in maybe some future videos, maybe over on Instagram as well, because I know you guys would probably like to see that those products as well, kind of see what I got going on. But like I said, I keep most of that stuff off site. Keep a lot of it in safe deposit boxes. And I'll tell you, for one, my family and we have a tendency to move around a lot. Over the last couple of years, we've moved like 3 or 4 times. So, and a lot of it is just due to business, and, I do a lot of real estate investing as well. So sometimes we'll move into different areas. So I who knows how long we'll actually be in this house. We were actually talking about moving back to northern Arizona, back where we came from before we moved back down here to the Phoenix area. So it's kind of a running joke in my family that we never stay settled for very long. So that's why I have a tendency to kind of keep those in safe locations, just because, one, don't know how long we're going to be in one place, and two, I just feel more comfortable with it in places like a safe deposit box. All right, let's see what else we got. What other questions do we got going on? Let's see. Best modern set: Sun and Moon and Forward. Sun and Moon and Forward. That is tough. Sun and Moon, I really like Burning Shadows. I think that's a great set. I think Champion's Path, obviously Hidden Fates. That's a great set as well. That'll always be a great set. Sun and Moon and Forward. I would say Burning Shadows, Hidden Fates, and I would include Champion's Path in there. I think over the long term, it's been pretty hyped, over recently, but I think over the long term, I think that that particular set is going to have some long-term growth. So that's one I would keep an eye out on. But I would say those three. There's some other ones in there that I think have potential. I think over long term, Unbroken Bonds, Team Up. They've got great cards in there. You've got the Charizard, Reshiram. You've got great cards in there that are unique. It's kind of one of the first times that we saw Pokemon side by side in one card. So I think those have potential as well. But I would definitely say Hidden Fates, Burning Shadows, and probably Champion's Path. All right, let's see what else we got. So it looks like our friend looks like he's getting some answers for. Okay, so it looks like you can request for a limit lift. So that's pretty cool. You can. It looks like you can request for that, and I'm pretty sure it's 50 listings or less. There's I believe there's a reduced or limited fee on those as well. So that's pretty cool. And you don't have to get charged nearly as much for that. But like somebody addressed it here, guys. I mean, if you can sell in person, I'm a finance guy. Like, I'm always thinking about taxes. If you can sell in person, if you can have a transaction mano a mano, you can eliminate so many different fees that are out there, when you're selling on other platforms, and not to mention taxes, guys. Really, at the end of the day, you want to mitigate your costs as much as possible, because ultimately that is going to result in a higher profit margin for you, and that adds up, guys. Maybe by selling in person, you mitigate $10, $15, $20, and that might not seem like a lot, but especially as you go along, that all adds up. I remember when I was a financial advisor, and I was talking with clients or even just friends, and they would say, you know, I would love to invest, but I just don't have the money. I just don't have the money. And yet I would sit them down and I would write out all of the little frivolous expenses that they would purchase on a daily basis. You know, their coffees at Starbucks, you know, their lunches out rather than packing a lunch. And we add this up, and by the time you get to the end of the year, it's like $2,000 to $5,000 that the average person spends on just some of these frivolous expenses that can be mitigated. And again, that's a way that you can take that and you can add that to your investment. And the same thing here, what may seem like just little, what may seem as just little expenses or little costs, those add up over time, guys. And that can be a big make or break for you in your overall investing success. So that's something that I would recommend there. Dr. Prof. Kabinski saying your questions get ignored, man. I'm sorry if I've missed them. Go ahead. Let me go ahead and run back up through the live chat. Let me see if I can find you, my friend. I don't want to miss your questions. I'm not seeing your questions here, my friend. If you want, go ahead and add it in there. I'll be happy to, like I said, I don't get it to everybody's question, but I try to do my best here. And especially if they're really good questions, ones that, can't be answered really quickly by others in the live chat, then those are the ones that I definitely like to answer. Let's see. So Glitchy Rico, should I invest in XY booster boxes or pay more for black and white? And which one should I get? Well, my friend, it depends on your financial situation. XY booster boxes or black and white. I mean, honestly, the further back you go, I think the better, if you can afford it, the further back you can go, the better the investment I think it will be. Because those products are just going to continue to get rarer and rarer. The supply of those is going to dwindle faster than newer products. So, if you've got the means to do so, then I would say go ahead and go with the black and white booster boxes because, like I said, those are just going to get rarer and rarer. The supply of those is just going to keep on going down. All right. Benny Biohazard says taxes are theft. So, that's the inevitable aspect of life is death and taxes. Death and taxes. All right, let's see here. Jules, what's the question from Dr. Professor Kabinski? Go ahead and I tried to find your question before, man, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think Jules dropped it again. So I would like to drop $1,000 in euro and invest into some older boosters. I am currently looking at a listing for 5 Unseen Forces and 6 Legend Maker boosters at 1.2. Good investment. Man, those, I've been keeping my eye on those as well. And like I said, just like I was saying before, the further back you go, if you've got the financial means to invest in those products, then I would say do so, because those products are just going to get, they're going to become less and less attainable. They're just going to become more rare. And I really like those series as well. Really like Unseen Forces, and I really like Legend Maker especially. I think those are really great sets. There's some great cards in there. And, honestly, $1,000 in euro, I'm not sure what the exchange rate is from euro to dollar at this point, but that seems like a pretty decent price, especially for, let me just make sure I'm reading this right. Are you talking booster? Are we talking booster packs, or are we talking booster boxes in this? I don't know if you can clarify. I mean, if it's booster boxes, I'd say that's a really, really good deal. I would imagine you're probably talking about booster packs. But even so, I still think that that's a good deal. personally. I think that that would be a good investment. I really like Legend Maker especially. I think that's a great set, underrated set in my opinion. And I would say that's a good investment, my friend. And sorry, like I said, sorry if I didn't get to your questions earlier. Sometimes it's difficult to try to, pick through each of these. But yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that's a good investment in my opinion. And just as a rule of thumb, guys, in my opinion, like I said, the further back you go, if you've got the financial means to do so, then invest in those products. The farther back you can go, the better off you're going to be, because not only from a rarity standpoint, from a supply and demand standpoint, but also from a statistical standpoint, from a data standpoint, we have more information on those older products than we do on modern. So we have a more accurate idea of where those products are going to trend into the future. So that's what I would say. The further back that you can go, if you got the financial means, those I would recommend investing in. So hopefully that answered it for you, my friend, and good luck to you. I hope you get all of them, and I hope they increase tremendously for you. I'm sure they will. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, yes. Stilo Max saying no love for Gym Heroes or Gym Challenge. The Blaine's Charizard PSA 10 hasn't moved yet. It's moved a little bit, but I agree with you. I was saying before, that's kind of where I'm focusing my collecting endeavors right now, is on Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. Underrated sets, in my opinion. Very underrated sets. I was really hoping that with Vivid Voltage, when we started seeing some of the Galarian gym leaders featured in the cards, I thought they were going to bring back some of like the, Misty's Pokemon, Brock's Pokemon, Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon, Blaine's Pokemon. I thought maybe we would see a similar thing with the Galarian gym leaders, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it's underrated. I think that it's just not getting the same kind of love that some of the other sets are. Now, Gym Heroes, from what I remember, Gym Heroes doesn't have quite the amount of cards that people are looking for as Gym Challenge. Obviously, the Blaine's Charizard is really what sets that particular, booster box off more than anything. But I think they're underrated in my opinion. What is your opinion on, or what is your thoughts on investing in Shining Legends? Well, I got one right back there. Shining Legends Super Premium Collection Box. I picked that up from the Pokemon Center for $80, and right now that box is going for about $250, and that was about maybe 2 months ago. So yeah, I saw that it dropped on Pokemon Center, and I jumped in there super quick and picked that up because there's cards in there. You've got the Shining Lugia and the Shining Celebi promo cards in there, and in PSA 9s, PSA 10s, those cards are going for like $150 to $250. So it plus the sealed box by itself, $250 right now. So Shining Legends, I really like it. I like that it's a smaller set. That's one of the features that I really like, especially like with Champions Path. One of the things that I liked about it was smaller set, 80 some odd cards. Shining Legends, I think 70 something cards in that set. Much more attainable to garner the cards from smaller sets like that. Dr. Professor Kabinski, hey, no problem, man. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I try to do my best to answer everyone's questions here. I don't want anybody to feel left out. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, we got some naughty language being used in the live chat. Jules, got to jump on that, brother. There's always trolls, man. Always going to be trolls. All right, let's see. Jamie Chris, VA, thoughts on buy low, sell high. Hey, that's best investing strategy there is, right? Like I said before, that's an approach that we would all like to take. Doesn't always work out that way. But, like I said, it's same thing with that dollar cost averaging analogy. Just continue, again, if it's in your financial means, continue to invest where you can. And that is just going to continue to grow over time. All right. One Big Dingus. Loving the content. How do you see Guardians Rising performing in the coming years? I think I should have went with Burning Shadows when I invested a few years back. Yeah, I think that, Guardians Rising, pretty decent set. But I would say Burning Shadows far and away above Guardians Rising. The thing you have to consider with all of these different sets, guys, they're all going to go up over time. It's just a matter of time. How long is it going to take for these sets to go up? Some are going to increase at a faster rate. Not all sets are created equal. Some you're going to see a much faster increase in value and much more into the future, while other sets you're going to see a moderate or a small increase in value. So, if people are ever conflicted, I always tell them, like with new sets, if they ask me, PokéNav, new set coming out, should I invest in it? Or should I open it? Or should I just enjoy it? I say, hey, if you got the money to do so, buy one and hold it, open one and enjoy it. That's my recommendation. Buy one and hold it, open one and enjoy it. All right, let's see what else. How would you invest $500 from an investment point of view? Although I collect all things that I enjoy collecting, I would like your opinion from an investment point of view. Cheers from Australia. How you doing, mate? I know that was corny, real corny. You're probably gonna hate me for it. But if we're speaking, specifically for Pokemon, $500, you're getting up into a little bit more. If we're talking on a monthly basis, that's kind of your budget. Again, I think that binders are a good way to start, especially if you're starting out, starting maybe with some of those graded commons and uncommons. It's getting to a point now, guys, where the rares, even unlimited, if you're wanting to invest in Wizards of the Coast, or even some modern, those rares, or even some of those non-hollows, they're getting up there in price. So you've got to find those other opportunities out there in different areas. So start looking at commons, uncommons, PSA 10s, Beckett 10s, those type of areas, because those also have nice growth on them as well. So you just have to find those different opportunities, and don't be afraid also in looking at, PSA 8s, PSA 7s, especially when it comes to things like gold star cards. Those, even in a PSA 7, PSA 8, those can still be really good investments as well. So it doesn't always have to be PSA 10, Beckett 10, PSA 9, Beckett 9, 9.5. Look at some of those other lower graded cards, but also look at the overall value of that card itself. How rare is it, and what does the long-term growth look like on that particular card? So that's what I would recommend there. All right, so we're going to get through a couple more questions here, guys. I know I'm not going to get to everybody tonight, but again, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun as well. And like I said, I'm taking this one a little bit longer tonight because I'm not able to get that video uploaded for tomorrow. It was going to be a Pokemon news episode, but I'm not able to get it out tomorrow. Had some technical problems with that one. So we're going a little bit longer here tonight to try to get through some more questions. All right, Professor Kabinski, get to bed, my friend. Yeah, 3:30, that is long past my bedtime. Long past it. But I appreciate you being here, my friend. I'm glad I could answer that question for you. All right, I was wondering what would be the best website to use to determine the value of my vintage cards, because all of these websites have different pricings. So couple different resources that you can use. You can go to eBay, look at some of the sold listings, look at recently sold, and kind of get an average of what those are going for. You can also go to whatever grading company that you went through. So like with PSA, you can go to PSA's website and you can also get prices for cards on there as well, what cards on average are selling for. And then another great resource is e4.com. And then if you go to the analytics section of e4.com, they have various different categories in there where you can check total sales data, you can check market cap, you can check our average sold listings. So those are the places that I would go to. I also have a video on, if you just type in PokéNav best investing resources, that's a good video to check out as well, because I break down all of those different outlets that I utilize personally to check that very information. But those are some places that I would check: eBay recently sold listings, E4, the analytics section, and then also whatever grading company that you might have gone through, just check on their website as well. So for instance with PSA. All right, so let's get through a couple more here. Let's see what else. Should I buy for $2.8 Evolutions booster packs in my local store? Yeah, I mean, if it's $2.80, yeah, for sure, I would go ahead and buy those. Let's see what else. What is my favorite Pokemon card? That is a really, really tough question. I love Mewtwo. I love all of the Mewtwo cards. My favorite Mewtwo card is the Shining Mewtwo from Neo. God, I'm going to forget it. Neo Destiny, I believe. Shining Mewtwo, Neo Destiny. That's probably my favorite card of all time, because Mewtwo is my favorite Pokemon. All right, let's get through just a couple more. What's a good investment for someone who can pay like $10 a month plus birthday, Christmas? $10 is going to be a little tough. Again, what I would look at is some bulk cards and then trying to flip those cards. That's a real small budget. But if Christmas, birthday, if you're asking for something, if you're at maybe $100, try to find a graded card for around that price. Again, your best option in that case is probably going to be commons and uncommons. And you're probably, you're going to have to go probably with unlimited. You might be able to find some first edition commons and uncommons in that price range. But yeah, that's a lower end budget. So that's kind of where you're going to have to start there. So I would recommend, first and foremost, build up that budget. Find ways to build up your budget. I do have a video on that as well. Just go back, look up PokéNav budget, and you should be able to find that, and I'll be able to help you not only invest on a lower budget, but be able to build up that budget as well. All right, guys, so let's answer one more question here, and then I am going to go ahead and sign off. Let's see. Okay. What is your take on the gold SV Hidden Fates cards and Shiny Vault graded? Is this good set to collect PSA? I find the gold cards are hard to grade. They are indeed. And yeah, that's another thing that you can definitely look into is some of the Shiny Vault from Hidden Fates, especially if you can find like Charmander, Charmeleon from that set. If it's in good condition, that card can go for quite a bit of money right now, especially if it's coming back in PSA 9, PSA 10 quality. So I think that's definitely another area to look at, is that Shiny Vault, and then Champion's Path as well. I would take a look at some of the the shiny cards from well, actually, the one that I would recommend, this just came to my mind. So I would go ahead. We've got the Shiny Star V set that is coming out in Japan here very soon. That is something, if you can get your hands on, that's going to have a huge Shiny Vault in it. That's something that I would keep an eye on as well. I believe it's going to have a larger Shiny Vault than even Hidden Fates, if I'm not mistaken. So that is another area that I would definitely take a look at. Keep on your radar. So, all right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for tonight. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for all of your questions. If I didn't get to your questions, I do apologize. But we're going to have these every single week. And if you guys are new, just understand you guys can come back each and every week. You guys can also contact me through some of my contact information, either on email, that is pokenav27@gmail.com. You can direct message me over on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Pokemon_navigator. Go ahead and contact me on either of those mediums, and I will try to get back to you there as well if I wasn't able to get to your question here in the live chat. Other than that, guys, I will see you all next time. My name is PokéNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon one video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video.